It's 1450, October 3rd, 2025. In the South China Sea, near the Scarborough Shoal, radar screens aboard the USS Ronald Reagan flash red, multiple unknown tracks closing fast. Alarms echo through steel corridors. Sailors sprint to battle stations. Outside, humid air vibrates as Chinese Type 52D destroyers and the CCG 5203 patrol ship advance. Overhead, a Y-8Q subhunter sweeps low, while two J-11B fighters cut the clouds. From the bridge, the captain watches the range shrink. "This isn't a drill," someone mutters. "Every radar ping could turn shadow into contact, contact into crisis." On deck, crews lash down FA-18 as the carrier steadies into the wind. A Pate Amper's Poseidon radios. Contacts confirmed. To starboard, the BRP Gregorio del Pilar drifts with fresh scrapes, horns blaring from CCG 5203. 500 yards apart, one wrong turn, and metal meets metal. The next move decides if this standoff holds or ignites. The Scarborough Shoal, a ring of reefs and shallow sand, looks calm from the air. But its location sits astride sea lanes that feed Asian factories and American homes. Tankers, grain ships, and container stacks cut through these waters every day, hour after hour. Control here means leverage over costs and routes. Even a rumor of danger pushes insurance up and forces detours that add days and millions. For Beijing, Scarborough is a core interest, bound to sovereignty claims and domestic pride. For Manila, it is lifeblood fishing grounds, economic rights, and the law on its side. For Washington, it is credibility and the principle that no single state closes a common waterway. That is why the USS Ronald Reagan patrols nearby, with a Pate Amper's Poseidon overhead feeding the carrier a live picture. Today, the picture tightens. A Type 52D destroyer angles across the approaches while the CCG 5203 presses close to the Philippine frigate BRP Gregorio del Pilar. AY-8Q circles, two J-11B sweep the horizon. Loudspeakers trade scripted lines. "You are in Chinese waters. Leave immediately." The American reply stays measured. "Operating in international waters. Rules of engagement demand restraint." Seconds feel heavy because reaction time is short at sea. One misread helm order, one panic pilot, and metal meets metal. Fishermen scatter. Cargo captains slow, waiting for clarity. If traffic diverts around the shoal, prices ripple ashore from Manila to Los Angeles. Allies watch for resolve. Adversaries watch for weakness. In a contest of nerves, small bumps can decide big futures. So tell us who is right in this standoff: the side guarding sovereignty claims or the side guarding freedom of the seas? If you think China is right, press 1. If you stand with the US and its allies, press 9. 1455. 5 minutes since first contact. The USS Ronald Reagan holds steady while its radar locks on the nearest Chinese destroyer. The screen shows a sharp spike, Type 52D closing distance at combat speed. On the Philippine frigate Gregorio del Pilar, warning lights flash red as the CCG 5203 veers across her bow barely 50 yards apart. Steel groans. Voices shout in Tagalog and English. For a moment, it feels like the sea itself holds its breath. From the American bridge, the order comes: launch-ready birds. 2 FA-18 roar off the deck, cutting white arcs over gray water. The move is defensive, show presence, avoid escalation. But the reaction is instant. 2 J-11B climb to intercept, crossing the carrier's path at supersonic speed. Their shockwaves rattle the bridge windows. Pilots trade warnings on open channels. "You are too close. Maintain separation." Nobody blinks. At the same time, the Pate Amper's Poseidon marks sonar traces beneath the waves. "Subsurface contact possible. Y-8Q sonobuoy drop," the operator reports. If true, it means China is tracking not just above water but below. The carrier group tightens formation, destroyers sliding closer to guard its flanks. Anti-submarine helicopters spin up, rotors chopping the heavy air. Over the radio net, US and Philippine commands coordinate. Hold fire, record everything. A drone from the Reagan rises, transmitting live footage to Pacific Command in Washington. Half a world away, analysts lean in, watching the tension unfold in real time. Then it happens. The CCG 5000, 203 drifts too close, its hull scrapes the Gregorio del Pilar's port side. Sparks fly. The smaller ship lurches, her crew scrambling to control flooding in the forward compartment. Minor hull damage, the captain reports, voice steady but strained. The Chinese loudspeaker blares again. Leave now, or responsibility is yours. For a few seconds, everything freezes. Three nations staring down one decision. On the Reagan's deck, FA, 18 circle with fuel low, waiting for the word. The captain grips the console, eyes locked on the tactical screen. No shots, he says quietly. Not yet. The first collision has happened, but the real danger is what follows. The sea is silent, but every signal, every sonar ping could turn that silence into thunder. 15:10. The sea feels heavier now, darker under gathering clouds. The USS Ronald Reagan adjusts course 10 degrees east, reducing its profile. The captain knows this buys seconds if missiles launch, but seconds are life in a confrontation like this. The Type 52D keeps closing in. Its deck guns elevate, silent but deliberate. On the American bridge, radar operators whisper updates, fingers trembling above consoles. Target lock detected. Everyone freezes. The Pate Ampere's Poseidon circles overhead, relaying data to Fleet Command. A second later, the Chinese ship powers down its radar. A warning, not yet an attack. The tension cuts like wire. On the Gregorio del Pilar, Filipino sailors patch steel and pump water. Their ship lists slightly, engines straining to hold position. Nearby, the CCG 5000, 203 flashes lights and coded warnings: too close for comfort, too close for mistakes. The radio crackles again. Chinese vessel, alter course. Silence. Then a calm voice replies, "We will not change." Aboard the Reagan, the tactical officer suggests readying the CIWS guns just in case. The captain shakes his head. That's exactly what they want. Every move is a test of patience, a contest of nerves between crews who can see each other through binoculars. The ocean seems endless, but the space between them feels smaller than ever. Suddenly, the YAQ drops new sonobuoys behind the US destroyer screen. "They're painting us underwater," an operator reports. Anti-submarine helicopters take off instantly, sensors sweeping. For a few minutes, radio chatter fills the airwaves, coordinates, bearings, warnings, but no one fires. Both sides know. The first shot decides everything. Lightning flashes across the horizon, thunder rolling over the waves like artillery. The crews flinch, half expecting the next sound to be missiles. On every screen, the situation grid glows red. From Washington to Beijing, leaders monitor the feed, waiting for one side to blink. But out here, on the open sea, there are no speeches, only men and women staring at targets they hope never to hit. Who breaks first? The one holding position, or the one pushing forward? If you think the US should stand firm, press 9. If you think China's patience will win, press 1. 15:35. The calm breaks not with gunfire, but confusion. Radar screens aboard the USS Ronald Reagan flicker, then fade to black. "Electronic interference! We're being jammed!" The communications officer shouts. For the first time, the crew realizes this isn't a standoff, it's the start of an invisible fight. New contacts appear on sensors, small objects racing low and fast. Surface drones, the analyst confirms. Metal, gray, fast, and erratic, too small for radar locks, too quick for guns to track. China hasn't fired a missile, but it's just changed the rules. The Type 52D destroyer cuts engines. The CCG 5203 slides aside, opening a gap toward the Gregorio del Pilar. Through it, 6 drones charge forward, wakes foaming behind them. The Philippine ship can't evade, steering still damaged from the scrape. "Request permission to engage," the Filipino captain radios. Reagan responds, "Granted, defensive fire only. Cannons thunder. 2 drones explode, but 4 keep coming, skipping through smoke and spray." From the carrier's deck, FA-18 scramble to intercept. their engines roaring across the clouds. One jet drops flares, blinding sensors for seconds. Explosions ripple across the shoal, water columns rising like geysers. Then the jamming spikes again, voices crackle, orders cut mid-sentence. "They're testing us," the captain mutters. "Not to kill, to see how we react." His eyes fix on the fading radar, ghost signals dancing and vanishing. The sea glows orange in twilight, smoke rolling low across the horizon. No missiles, no declaration, just drones and silence, proof that modern warfare now begins long before the first shot is fired. 1550. The storm breaks for real. The sea turns rough, winds whipping spray across decks. On the USS Ronald Reagan, alarms return sharp, insistent. Multiple drones inbound, bearing 090. The operator calls. This time, they're faster, mixed with electronic ghosts, half real, half decoy. The captain orders, "Deploy CIWS. All defensive systems active." Twin guns spin up, growling like turbines. Tracers streak across the horizon, cutting lines of fire into the storm. Two drones vanish in explosions of spray. Another slips through, closing the gap. On the Gregorio del Pilar, power flickers. Her crew reloads manually, shouting over the roar of engines. The CCG 5000, 203 swings dangerously close again, her hull gleaming through rain. Through binoculars, Filipino sailors see faces on the other deck. No one fires, but everyone's finger hovers near the trigger. Above, FA-18 dive from the clouds, targeting the last cluster of drones. Missiles flare, one striking true, the explosion lighting the shoal like daylight. A second jet banks hard to avoid debris. Seawater slams against its canopy. Every movement feels like the edge of chaos. Then, for a split second, the radar lights up. Type 52D has activated its targeting system. "They've locked on!" someone yells. Silence follows, a heartbeat too long. The Reagan shifts course, countermeasures armed, fingers poised on authorization keys. But no missiles come. The lock disengages, just a warning one that says, "We could if we wanted." Lightning flashes again, illuminating ships now drifting barely half a mile apart. The storm hides them from satellites, but not from each other. Commanders on both sides make the same call. Disengage before this breaks the world open. Engines roar, hulls turn, distance grows. On Gregorio del Pilar, pumps finally beat the leaks. Watertight doors hold. In the ether, the Pate Ampere's Poseidon reestablishes a clean link to the carrier, and the last ghost contact dissolves into rain and static. Crews breathe out, hands still shaking on cold steel. When calm finally returns, only foam and drifting smoke remain. No lives lost, no victory claimed. But in every control room, one thought repeats. Next time, someone will go too far. Who do you think should have fired first, the US defending its allies, or China standing its ground? If you side with the US, press 9. If you believe China showed restraint, press 1. 1720. The storm fades. The South China Sea glimmers under pale light as waves calm around the Scarborough Shoal. What remains are scars, dents on steel, fuel slicks on the water, and the silence after almost war. On the Gregorio del Pilar, sailors rest on deck, helmets off, eyes hollow from hours of tension. Pumps still hum below. Across the horizon, the USS Ronald Reagan holds position. Crew scanning empty radar screens as if expecting ghosts to return. Beijing states, "Our patrol completed its mission." Washington answers, "Freedom of navigation will continue." Two nations, two truths, neither backing down, both claiming control. Markets twitch at headlines. Shipping routes bend slightly wider, just enough to hint that the sea isn't calm at all. Insurers add quiet surcharges, and captains file new waypoints that arc around the reef, safety paid in time and fuel. Analysts call it a draw, but those who were there know better. The Philippines kept its flag flying. The US stood firm without firing. China pushed hard without crossing the line yet. Each side walks away believing it won, which makes the next encounter certain. By midnight, the sea grows quiet, but radio waves still hum with new coordinates. Drones patrol again, tracking every shadow. Far away, capitals hold late-night briefings, planning for a confrontation that already feels inevitable. The shoal stays the same, silent, windblown, surrounded by ambitions too large for its size. For now, peace survives by inches. One storm, one wrong call, and the world could wake to a fight born from these waters. The ships fade into the horizon further apart, but not for long. And as the footage spreads across the world, one question lingers. Who truly won tonight, the side that stood firm, or the one that stepped back first? If you believe the US showed strength and stability, press 9. If you think China's restraint was the real victory, press 1.